Hey everybody, now I'm going to be doing a little comparison of power supplies. The old TiViBox power supply versus the new TiViBox power supply. On the left is a modified Diablotech PSDA 320M, rated, or at least sticker rated for 320 watts. One on the right is a ChiefMax, sticker rated for 450 watts. See, this thing has a model. Oh, it's too generic, it doesn't even have a model. Anyways, here's the old power supply. I had to pull it out of service because the 12-volt rail was getting too low. It was going out of spec and it was causing the TV storage hard drive to randomly shut off and restart. And it's probably due to maybe a back capacitor on the 12-volt rail or something of that matter. But anyways, this thing has been in service. This thing was in service for 4 years. Nearly all 4 years of constant on operation, and in highly varying conditions. I mean, during the summertime it was actually cooler in the living room than it was in the wintertime, because we had the wood stove going in the wintertime. So this thing has ran inside of a computer that was in, let's see, 100-degree heat some nights, and as you can see, it's kind of taking its toll a little bit. Not bad though. I mean, the PCB looks fine, but you can see, like on this inductor here, the glue has gotten darker. But yeah, this is definitely a modified supply. I have replaced a lot of the main capacitors in it, on both the secondary side and even on the primary side. Originally, this thing had 330 microfarad caps, and I replaced those with 470s. It originally had the long coil bypass, which I just installed one, I think the second or third day I had the thing. Now I haven't done anything with the rectification stage yet. It's still got the 4 diode treatment there, but I plan on replacing those with a rectifier pretty soon. I installed this X capacitor, which it used to never have. It's only got one Y capacitor. It should have 2. One on the one on the hot, one on the neutral. But anyways, I haven't bothered to mess with that. I replaced the fan as soon as I had it. Yeah, as soon as I got the thing. The stock fan was very slow, didn't move enough air to cool this thing. Now, if you want to apply a power supply, the proper way to do that is to use a thermal fan controller with a fast fan. So that way, when the power supply does in fact get hot, it can cool things down. Anyways, back to the power supply itself. The main transformer on this one says it's a ER35, but it's actually either a 33 or a 28, and I can tell you this by looking at the side of it. I mean, width is pretty good. I mean, from or length, you want to call it that, from front to back. But in height, it's not very tall at all. It's quite short. So it's more of a 28 or 33 sized main transformer. And for the main switchers, this one has 13007s. And in both of these units, I'm showing you are half-bridge topologies. This one here still works, but I'm planning on probably replacing the 12-volt capacitor and seeing how it does under load. I'm actually thinking about doing more to it in this set. I'm thinking about actually replacing this transformer with a 35 size transformer, and replacing those 13007s with 13009s main switchers. So anyways, you gotta go look at this one. 4 years of hard use. Needs a clean out, it's kind of dirty. Anyways, here's the brand new supply. It's been in service for a week. I just got finished doing some more mods to it. Basically, I modified this thing before I ever tested it fresh out of the box. I mean, as soon as I took it out of the box, I installed this, long coil. Usually they're known as LF, LF1 on the PCB, or LF2, depending on how many spots you have. Installed that, and I recapped the secondary side. Replaced the crap Chingex caps with something better. Got it in better in both brands and in values. Higher capacitance. Now, one thing I've noticed is that this Diablotech has a slightly bigger set of coils than this one. Don't really like that, but anyways. One thing you notice with this thing here is it looks like it's built better than the other one. There's that one. And there's that one. One thing you notice right away is the size of the heat sinks. Look how thin these are. Yeah, look at the ChiefMax. See how thick these are? They're much thicker. Much thicker. Gonna spin this around. Now on this Diablo-Tech you can't really see the secondary side rectifiers, but on this one you can. But this, what you're looking at now, is a primary side. This one has 13009s for main switchers, slightly better. And both of these have 2 transistor 5-volt standby rails, and both of them seem to regulate pretty good. Haven't had any overvoltage issues with them. And this power supply seems to have a true 35 size transformer, from at least what I'm familiar with. Many of the ones stamped 35 are about this size here. Same length as that, but this one here is taller. It is in fact taller. And get you a look at the secondary side. Now get you a look at labels on both of these. Forgot to do that. Positive use specs. Carefully note the 3.3, 5-volt and 12-volt rail amperage outputs. Now take a look at this one. Positive use specs. And take a careful look at these, at the 3.3, 5-volt and 12-volt rails on this one. Notice how this one seems more modern, at least in its sticker. The 12-volt is the most power-heavy rail on this one, at 16 amps versus 5-volt at 15 amps and 3.3-volt 15 amps. Both of these do not have minus 5-volt rails, meaning they're not using practically 2000 or 2001 specs or designs. In a way, anyway. They both have half ridge, which is kind of old. But anyways, notice how this one claims to have a bigger 5-volt rail and its 12-volt rail. 22 amps on the 12-volt rail it says. 5-volt rail says it's 25 amps. 3.3 volts says it's 18 amps. Again, this one does not have minus 5-volt rail. It's a good thing. Now, have a look at this one. On the far right is the 12-volt rectifier. It's rated for 16 amps. Middle one is the 5-volt rectifier. It's 20 amps. I can't really see the one on the far left. Yeah, I can't really see that one on the far left. I think it's. I'm looking at it carefully. It looks like it almost matches. It's also a MOSFET. I think they have identical rectifiers on both the 3.3 and 5-volt rails in this unit. So, it's in regards to its silicon, it's got 20 amps on both of those and 16 on the 12 volt. So this one here has a slightly more dated design. It should have more power on the 12 volt rail, but it seems to have a little bit more on the 5 volt rail. But the 12 volt rail on this one does have enough silicon there to run the TiViBox just fine. But nothing near what that sticker says. At 450 watts, forget about it. It might be able to do 350 watts, but definitely not the 450. I mean, this one here, this Diablo-Tech, when I first put it in the TiViBox, the TiViBox was a bit power hungry at the time. It had a Pentium 4, I think 3.6 or 3.4 gigahertz Prescott CPU, very hot running and very power hungry. Dumped lots of heat into that micro ATX case, and also had, let's see, 1 or 2 hard drives at the time, 1 or 2 TV tuners, analog tuners, and an earlier Radeon graphics card. So it was kind of power hungry and it pushed this thing pretty hard, but it handled it okay. I'd say it was pushing it pretty close to its max. But anyways, this one here seems to run the TiViBox a little bit better than this one. Good stability and, you know, stuff like that. This one here is a little bit louder with its dual fans, but this one here was pretty quiet. Both of these run their fans on 12 volts, which I kind of prefer in a TiViBox, due to the fact that it sits near a hot wood stove. So anyways, get you a closer look here at what I did today. Installed a bridge rectifier on this one, a 4 amp device, because really this power supply I would assume is more of a 250 watt unit. So 4 amp rectifier will be decent enough for that. And I also installed this X capacitor on the plug, you know, on the socket. And let me tell you, getting that bridge rectifier in was pretty tough because how tight this thing is built. I mean, everything is crammed inside of this thing. So anyways, now all I gotta do is zip tie the wires back and slide it back together and back porch test, and if it passes I'll put it back in TiViBox and put it back in service. I mean, I took this thing out of service so quick. I mean, I had to set it up in like 5 minutes after I unplugged it, and it was fully discharged by then. So anyways, here, get you another close look at that bridge rectifier. As I mentioned, I'm going to put one in this one, along with the other mods I'm planning on doing to it. This is really, honestly, just an experimental supply. And seeing that I like modifying power supplies, if I kill this one, I may just buy another one of these and put in TiViBox number 2. So anyways, there was a comparison between the old TiViBox power supply and the new TiViBox power supply. So anyways, any questions or comments, feel free to ask, and thanks for watching.